Then, where the family of Bongisisa Nkwanyana will hold his funeral service today. He died in a mudslide triggered by torrential rains that have battered the province this week, causing devastating floods in some areas. More than 10 other people are known to have died from severe weather-related incidents. Nqobile Madlala joins us live now with more details on this one. Nqobile, it's a situation we don't want to see happening again, and I suppose it's also going to have to be about word from authorities. But today is the solemn passing and a solemn funeral.
Well, yes, indeed, and that's taking place right behind us, the family in mourning, but also talking about the fact that they didn't expect this to happen, at least not for him, because they thought he was much younger. His father going through the pain of losing a son and even going to hospital, so it's very difficult for this family. But they're not alone. There are various families around Durban and around eThekwini that are currently going through this pain of losing their loved ones. And I want to bring in the MEC now to speak to us. Mthombeni, it is a very difficult moment for people in KwaZulu-Natal, but surely there must be a solution in terms of how to assist them.
Thank you so much, Nqobile. Let me greet your good self and your viewers at home. Yeah, the mood is somber, the mood is terrible, and it's a tragic accident that took place in the province of KwaZulu-Natal as a result of the climate condition. It's a painful thing that is taking place at this point in time, because you'll find that people are going to suffer atrocities as a result of this weather. But the reality is that government jointly, in different sphere of government, we have been united in assisting the process. eThekwini municipality have played the role in the issue of the burial. Human settlements, as you've seen, that is not adequate, but we've already started what we regard as TRU, that temporal resident unit, so that at least there is that dignity. But we are proceeding in ensuring that we identify all the beneficiaries. The minister is coming next week so that we consolidate even the rollout of the budget. I'm sure as well you understand that at least the postponement of the budget to the 12th will mean that there will be a delay of some sort, but disaster funding lies within the ambit of the minister who's going to assist. Already they have delegated the team to the province, and we are glad because we've done almost all the audit that is required on the ground. We will be assisting almost all the families.
And what is needed, I mean, in terms of ensuring such things doesn't happen again? Because surely there must be like a structure on the ground in terms of town planning. How much do we need? Because we keep seeing these atrocities happening in this province specifically.
The rains are still going to come. For me, I think let us have a hierarchical needs of what must be done. One, when weather service in South Africa has declared that in this day on these areas, people must just understand whether there's going to be torrential rain, they must be evacuated on time. They must understand that processes. Number two, let us ensure that as from now onwards, we don't build any structure around the river frontage, in the wetlands, in the wetlogged and all those things. So we just have to understand and adhere to government. Number three, just ensure that, like for instance, the Shell Cross, we are going to evacuate almost all these informal settlements as identified. But once we have taken that step, build the structure, how to ensure and enforce the bylaws that eThekwini from that on our court in the area don't build any other informal settlements, because the reality is that the ground that they have been built, it's not a ground suitable for habitable of our people and all those things because of EIA. So it's something that must be done, and every one of us should achieve. I'm sure you know by now, I'm always using this US, what took place in California. Almost 10,000 households have been destroyed, but no fatalities. They do adhere to government. They understand these realities of climate change and all those things. We'll then have around April the climate conference, where we are going to solidify a campaign and a strategy of talking to Amakosi in Nduna. Just don't identify an area because you see it's green, then you think it's habitable. It might be a wetland. It is going to cause problems when there are rains fall and all those things. So it's something that we just have to work together jointly in ensuring that we come up with a portable solution and a tangible solution that is going to be everlasting. Otherwise, the global warming is here to stay. So it means the adaptability strategy is what has been envisaged, and the resolution must be followed. And unfortunately for Nkwanyana family, remember that the design of Makuta is something that was built, the township that was built in the 40s. You'll find that in terms of hydraulics, the stormwater drainage system was designed at that particular time. A lot has changed. Something ought to be done, and you must also revisit the design system of eThekwini so that we just have to adapt in that environment.
And whilst we're talking about the design of eThekwini, not just only in Guamakuta, we saw in Lamontville as well. Also talk about the storm drainage, huge issue there. We've seen also in Phoenix, huge issue there. How are you going to fix all these areas in one go to ensure that people are safer? Because in some areas there is a drainage, it's just not working because it hasn't serviced over time. And how are you going to fix the roads as well?
I'm sure by now you know human settlements in the last 3 years we lost almost 2.5 billion because of fiscal discipline. We don't have adequate funding. That's the reality. And this is a moving object and a moving target at the same time. It means that eThekwini, what they have, after the allocation of budget, we've done the same strategy as the Department of Human Settlement. But once we identify the needs, we just have to be clear at this point in time. This financial year at eThekwini, we're only going to afford to this money, this allocation probably we are going to build 4,000 houses. Stick to that, then identify the land. Stakeholders must be identified and stakeholders must be told and all those things. So it's what we are going to do and what we envisage.
How much do you need, MEC?
No, we need a lot of billions for the backlog. As a human settlements, right now we've almost got 3.2 billion. What is required on the ground, probably in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, is something like 20-something billion. It's not easier, and it's something that is, as I've already highlighted, that once we have identified, eThekwini alone, you almost have all 400 informal settlements. It's something that is not easy. So it's something that let us adhere to government, understand all other hierarchical needs, what I was saying, that, and people must start complementing the state, because the reality is that eThekwini alone is not going to resolve the matter. KwaZulu-Natal, all the stakeholders must understand this process.
And as just a parting question, MEC, various families have been affected. How are you going to help them?
We've identified almost different holes. Unfortunately, some will say that no, the rain has subsided, we don't want to move. We do also can't force them, but we've identified the holes, we've identified the sponges, the blankets, temporal measures. That's what we have done as the state, and it is never adequate, which is why even the private sector, NGOs are also assisting us, but we are monitoring the situation because these rains have not yet completed what is going to happen in the summer. So it means that juxtaposed with the reality is that identify the areas, make sure that people through door to door, through social network, they must always be aware at this point in time that even means that we do loud hailing, that they must be conscious, the weather pattern have changed, and it's what has to be done, and we must conform to those practices.
Thank you very much, MEC, for your time. Well, that's the MEC of Human Settlement and Transport in KwaZulu-Natal, Siboniso Duma, speaking to us. Nqobile, they are identifying the areas to ensure that the families are currently housed there. At the same time, they're trying to intervene and assisting with the families. But the true nature of KZN is that there are a lot of issues that needs to be fixed. We are told that it's billions of rands that will be needed to fix the infrastructure in ensuring that there's adequate drainage of water should there be any incidents like this.